everyone, today's overview and review video is on Mosaic, and stick around because there's a giveaway. So if you're new here, this is 𝗚𝗛𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. My name is Chrissy.
And I'm Nick.
And if board games are something that you're into, like this video and subscribe to the channel. We've also added memberships to the channel. So if you're ultra into board games, take a look at that link down in the description. And a big thank you to all of the members who have already joined. We learn all of our board games before we make video content on there.
Yeah, and the members help sponsor this giveaway.
Yeah, that's totally true.
Yeah.
So to the giveaway, we are giving away this copy of Mosaic. So if you want to enter, this is for US and Canada only, unfortunately, because shipping is
crazy.
So to enter the giveaway, we just want you to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and let us know down below what your favorite color to play is as.
Exactly.
Yeah, easy as that.
Pretty simple.
I like purple.
Oh, I'm orange, I think.
Yeah, is there orange in this game?
No.
No, so you pick green?
I was playing as yellow, but I figured green might show up better. I don't know. Maybe green wasn't a good choice. There is green, and I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah, who knows? But anyways, that is how you enter. So the giveaway runs from October 27th until November 3rd. I will pick a winner on the 4th of November. I will heart your comment, and I will leave my email address there, and you will have 2 weeks to get a hold of us. And if you don't, unfortunately, I will have to pick somebody else to win this game.
We will draw one other person if that person does not answer.
One more person.
One more.
And
then if it doesn't go that second time we draw someone, we'll give it away again because...
That's what happened to one of our other giveaways.
Yeah,
We
can
asked
become a nightmare.
We asked 4 people. We still have it sitting upstairs. It was just an expansion, though. This is a way better game.
Well, yeah, but still.
No expansion.
Still.
So anyways, Nick is here with me doing the overview and the review because I feel like this is a big game and I don't want to do it by myself.
It's not that big of a game.
It's not, but it'll help for editing purposes too because we'll just piggyback off of each other instead of listening to me redo the same sentence 10 times.
No. She'll be like, you moved. You shouldn't have moved. I told you to stay still.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're going to jump right into it. We're going to go down to the table. We're going to take a look at all of the components in the game first. Okay, so the board is a lot. Now, I will say right now that because we have it set up for a 2-player game, we are not using these 2 locations on the board, so we have placed our tiles.
So you have the Civilization tiles and the Golden Age tiles. The Golden Age tiles, you set up all those. There's 15, I believe, Civilization achievement tiles. You select 9 of them at random, and you put them on the board as well.
So you don't know exactly what you're working towards.
Yeah, and you achieve these during the game as you play.
Yep, exactly.
They're like little mini goals.
And then other tiles that we have too are these wonder tiles, which are basically, these ones are a little bit different. You have to pay for them, and these are going to give you victory points based on either just straight up victory points like 12 victory points, or if you have different cities on certain locations, things like that, that's what's going to happen with those tiles. And then other tiles that we have on the board are government tiles. These are going to give you some kind of benefit whenever you do them. They do have a cost. We'll go through what the cost is later on in the video. And then for cards, there's a lot of cards going on in this game. So we have the build cards here, which are one of the actions. We'll talk about it later on in the video, but this is where it's going to be. Okay, so then we have population. It'll give you population. You have to pay for it. You have to pay food for it. And then we have technology cards. Then we have tax and tariff cards down here. We should have 2 flipped over. And so these are basically going to give you money throughout the game if you choose to. 3 unrest, 1 unrest. These are basically negative points at the end of the game. And then we have tokens on the board. These are trade good tokens, which are face up, and then we have cash tokens, which are face down. And then we have a bunch of different resources. We have, what is it, clay? Stone?
We have stone.
We have stone. We have food.
Food.
We have money, which is a wild in this game.
Stone, food, ideas.
Ideas are the scrolls. So those are the resources in the game. And basically you use these to purchase cards, and a bunch of other things that we'll get into. So along with that, we have our player boards. So we'll go through player boards, what's on there, and the tiles and tokens that come with it. So population, we also have production here, the cubes. Throughout the game, you're going to collect some, and it's going to raise up on here. And then some of the trade goods you'll be able to collect and place on your board as well. And then we also have tiles that we're going to be placing out on the board. And we also have these fighting guys.
infantry, and cavalry.
Yes. So that is basically all of the components in the game. And then so Nick will help us with setup because there's I don't want to say a bit to set up with this game. There is a lot of setup with this game. Time consuming setup.
It's a little overboard. So for starting up the game, you need to do these kind of things in order. So first you'll put your harbor tokens down, which are the fish. They go on the little boat symbol. Then you'll place your cash tokens on the cash token symbol. Then you'll go around and take your trade goods face down. You'll have them all shuffled together. Face down, you'll lay them out on all the hexes, and then you'll flip them over. And then you'll remove any that have the X on it off the board. That's basically how we got to this layout.
Yes.
Okay. It seems really quick how I just explained it.
No, it probably took us like, what, 10 minutes?
But putting all these little trade goods on the board and flipping them all over, it takes a little bit of time. Like there's a whole bag of these tokens. And you got to make sure they shuffle them all up.
Yep.
So that's setting up the tiles on the board. Then you have to set up your build deck. So you basically, each deck has an Empire scoring card. So there's 4 Empire scoring cards in the deck. In the decks.
Do you want to explain what they are? Like throughout the game?
They're scoring rounds.
Yeah, you're going to do 3 of them.
Yeah, so we'll explain the scoring rounds.
Yeah.
But, so basically, you shuffle the build deck, you cut it in half, and then you shuffle in the bottom half the Empire scoring card. Okay, that's for the build. For the population, depending on the amount of players that you're playing with, so we're playing with 2, so we've got 10 cards in the population. You split it in half, take the 5 cards, shuffle in the Empire scoring card, goes on the bottom. So in the bottom half, somewhere in there is the Empire scoring card.
Somewhere. You don't know where.
You don't know where. Then in the technology deck.
That one's a bit more.
So there's 2 different types of cards in there. There's normal cards and there's starting cards. So first, you need to take all the starting cards out and you shuffle those together and you deal 5 to each player.
Yep.
Then you're going to do a draft with those after. Then the starting cards that were not used get shuffled back into the technology deck, and then you break it into 3 different piles. And then depending on the player count is where you shuffle in the Empire card. So for a 2-player game, it is shuffled into the middle pile. So the 3 piles, it's shuffled into the middle pile. So somewhere in the technology deck, halfway through is the Empire scoring card. Okay. Then tax and tariff, you need to take 10 cards for 2 players. It's kind of similar to a population deck. But you need to make sure you have the same amount of tax cards and the same amount of tariff cards. So once you have 5 tax cards, 5 tariff cards, you shuffle those together, you break them in half. Then in the bottom half, you shuffle in the Empire scoring card, put it up, boom.
Boom.
Tax and tariff deck.
And that's pretty much set up. Other than going through the tiles and picking all.
That's pretty much set up. Other than like starting, we will do a draft.
And then you get to pick your.
We'll do a draft
leader.
going back and forth, being able to play these cards down. You'll have your leader, which will have starting bonuses on it.
That you can collect. Yep.
Right. So if we look at this one, as the farmer, I start with 10 food, 10 money. So that's actual resources to me.
Yep.
Then I have a +5 food production, which would go to +5.
Your track.
Right, and then each empire, or
each leader
has a special ability, and this one is add 1 population to each population card that you take.
Yep. Mine gives me extra actions at the beginning and at the end of the game.
Right. So that's set up pretty much with this.
Yep.
You'll collect the resources from the starting cards that you play down. You'll make sure you have your population and your productions at the starting where your starting technology cards and your leader card puts you to.
Yep.
And that's set up.
That's pretty much set up, yeah. And we'll go through like technology cards once we go through the actions and everything. So, but basically, well, the first time you play, you're not going to know what you want or what's good or whatnot. But you're basically drafting your hand deck. And then you just collect
for
whatever's from there.
2-player, right? It's just basically you select one, the next person selects one, and so forth. So whatnot, and you play them down. You do not have to play them down.
No,
you can keep them and to play them down whenever during your turn as a free action, pretty much. That's up to you.
Yeah, exactly. So then we'll jump into actions. There's a couple of actions.
So there's 1,
and they're listed
2,
at the back of the
3,
rule book. There are 8. At the back of the rule book. So it's kind of like a handy dandy play read.
And the board kind of explains all the actions. The actions are all on the board.
Yep.
Do you want me to go through the actions?
Oh, you're going through the actions.
Okay.
You want to know why? Because Nick has won every single game that we have played, so you probably know them a little bit better. Although I will say that scoring was pretty close.
Yeah, both games have been pretty close that we've done. So.
But yeah, you can go through it. And I'll jump in because you'll probably miss something or want to say it later on, and then I'll jump in and say it, and you'll go, I was going to say it. That's how we work. Okay, so first action on the list.
On the board, you'll look at the board, you'll figure out your actions.
Yep.
The top left corner, you have the wonders action. So basically, you can pick from any of the 9 wonders that are out there.
There's some prerequisites for some of them.
Some of them have some prereqs. You need to be at least able to place them in a region that you have a city. A region is any one solid color. As long as you have a city color or city in one of those colors, then you can build a wonder in there. So basically doing the wonder action, the first action will cost you 20 stone and 5 food. The next wonder action that you do as a player, not what the next player does, but what you do, goes up by 5. So the next one will be 25 and 10 food. And then the third one, 30 and 15 food.
Yep.
Right?
They get pretty hefty.
Yeah. So that's the wonders action. Next is the build action. So there is 3 different things you can do in the build action. There is towns. Towns are free, and it basically needs to be built around a city.
Which is that one.
Yeah.
So you can build it.
There is no town cards.
There's no town cards out.
No.
Of course not. There's a town card.
There's a town card.
Yep.
So town cards have groupings of trade goods that you want to get more points. Okay.
So yeah, and then basically whenever you're putting the tile down, you can cover that spot where you may need one of the tiles or tokens.
Yeah. So there's 3 things. You can build a town, which is free. You can build a city, which costs 4 stone and 2 population. And cities can go anywhere. Doesn't matter if you don't have a city there or whatnot. You can put them anywhere.
Yep.
Except on harbor tokens.
Yeah, which...
What requires... So cities and harbors, port cities are the same thing. But to put a city token or a port token is all the same for a city action. Okay? Kind of confusing there. But...
A port obviously has to go on money, or on water.
Yeah, right, and they're all tracked by the fish.
Yep.
So there is building the city. Then the last action that you could do during a build would be build a project. And those require 5 stone and 5 ideas, and then you get to take the project and it basically goes in your pile of cards that you'll have.
Yeah, and these are basically just going to score you points based off of the icons that you have.
They're scoring you points for icons.
And they would just kind of go
for
like that.
pillars of civilization.
Yeah.
So that's the build action.
Yeah, and basically all the cards, like, they're going to be different. There's going to be some things that you have to do for military, and then this one will give you population. This one will give you +3 tariff. Production. So anything with production in the title, your track goes up for that specific one. So, and then basically whenever you collect one, you can put a city out, whatever, and then you put it, and you just want to keep track of your icons that you have, and you just place them like that.
So another thing to note about the build action, if there is not a city card out there or a town card out there, that does not stop you from building a town or city. You can still take the action. You're just not going to get any benefit from a card like you would a card. All right, so you can still build a farm town by doing a town action. You're just not getting any benefit other than placing that tile on the board.
Yep.
Or same with a city, right? Because you can't place towns unless you have them around cities.
So beneficial to build a city that way if there's none.
So the next action, I'll get my board out here, is the work action. So right there.
The work.
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 So basically that allows you to collect resources from your civilization. Okay, so we have the stone, we have the food, we have the ideas. You basically look at the number that production you're on. So food right now is on at 5. I have 5 population. So add those two up, I would get 5 food.
Yeah.
Or 10 food. I would get 10 food.
You can't add it.
No. If you add those up, 5 food, 5 population, I would get 10 food.
Yep.
So yeah, so the working can only be used for stone, food, or ideas. Tax and tariff is taken care of by the tax and tariff cards.
Yeah.
Also, when you place out the city, you get to place it out on your board, right? So say,
Oh yeah, like the fish that I collected from this city.
Yeah.
Yeah, you place them on your trade good area, and
Right.
you're gonna be able some cards, some tiles that you get, you might be able to score victory points off of them later on.
so every unique symbol gets its own spot. If at any time you take the same symbol, you just stack it. Okay? It's only for unique symbols. So that is working.
And you want to collect those resources because that's what's going to allow you to purchase the build cards, the population card, and the technology cards.
Turns are supposed to be really quick.
Not with us. Not with me.
But, so that's work. It's basically taking one of the 3 productions, taking how much population, what the values of that, and that's how many resources of that you get.
Yep.
The production will all go up depending on the technology cards that you end up getting, which will cause it to go up. So that leads into our next action, population. Basically, at the bottom of the population card will tell you how much you have to pay for how much population to gain.
Yep.
So these ones right now, 5 food to gain 1 population. This one is 12 food to gain 2 population. And they're all different. Some
go
are
up
the same.
to like
some
4 population. Yeah.
So you can get big leaps, right? But you want the population on your board, so help your work action, right? Also, you need population to build cities.
Yes.
So they're all kind of interlinked.
Yep.
You need to do them all.
Yep. Yeah, you definitely need them all.
And so then that leads down to the technology action. Basically, you pay 5 ideas and you can take any of the cards. However, some cards have prerequisites.
Yeah, which are the
So
icons.
you'll see on the middle right of the card a little box right here, which is basically the requirement for so you can do that card.
Yeah. So whatever you have in front,
Yeah.
all the
All your
icons.
symbols, even
Yep.
your leader has a symbol, right? So you got to count that too. So that's the technologies. Those basically give you one-time bonuses. They increase your production.
And then sometimes you get to gain things if you
Yeah.
do other things too.
Yeah, some have ongoing benefits
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah. And then we work ourselves down to tax and tariff. So basically you can choose to do either a tax or a tariff action depending on the card that's out. They both give you money, but in just different ways, right?
Yeah.
So this tax here is 2 times population, whatever your population is on your board, plus 2 times a certain symbol of pillar of civilization,
That's government symbol.
the government.
Did you know that?
No, it's just the black symbol.
Yeah, black triangle.
Plus your tax production, which is on your production board.
Yeah. So you
Right,
potentially make a lot of money off of these.
But these cards do give you unrest, which is negative points. There is cards to negate negative points. So keep that in mind. It's not always a bad thing. You just need to get the cards to cancel them out. So then when you do the tax and tariff, you get to claim any money that is in the holding area. So money gets put in the holding area every time a city is built or a port city is built. So if you build a city, you put $5 in here. It comes from the supply, not from you.
Yep.
And if you build a port city, $10 goes in there. So if you do it, you get whatever's on the card plus whatever in the holding area.
This is a good way to get one of the tiles in there that's like $60
Yeah,
or more.
some
Yeah,
of them,
or-
right? That's one of the civilization
Yeah.
achievement tiles, which randomize out. It's not
Yeah.
actually on the board right now.
Oh, we played with that one. Nick always gets it.
We played with it once.
Did we?
Yeah.
I thought we played with it twice. Whatever.
It's okay. All right, so then we get down to our final 2 actions here. Military. So military is, there's 2 different units, cavalry and infantry. Without certain technology cards, there's no difference between them.
Yeah.
They're both 1 influence, which I'll explain influences hereafter. But they're both 1 influence unless you have a card that tells you that they can move more or they have a higher influence value. So it doesn't really matter right at the beginning of the game, but later on certain cards might change how they interact.
And there's a card that allows you to build some of those.
Yes, there's one technology card in the deck that allows you to build a catapult, which basically negates all city influence.
A siege engine?
Yeah. So to do a military action, you can build up to 2 units. It's $5 per unit, and you can build up to 2 units, so you could potentially build 2 units for $10. Or you can move any number of units from one region to another region that's connected for $1 per unit.
Yeah, and if you want to know what is connected and how things are connected, you can read the rule book.
Well, I can tell you. This region is connected with this region, obviously.
Yep.
This region is connected with this region. This region is connected with this region. This region is connected with this region.
But
this region is connected with this region.
yes, I don't know how. That one doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah.
But this region is not connected with this region.
No.
Okay.
Yep. And then back to military, right? You just place them on the side.
Yeah. They don't go on any hex or whatnot. They're just for a region to counter influence, which I will explain after the actions. Okay, so that's military, right? So moving would just be, I'd have to pay $2 to move these 2 1 space over.
Yep.
If I wanted to, or if I only want to spend $1 to move 1 over.
Yep.
Then the final action is government. Basically, these give you empire scoring points for certain things during those scoring rounds. You have to have the required symbols, and you have to be able to pay the cost of ideas.
Yep.
So basically, you can switch out governments whenever you want, as long as you can pay it. Governments that you put back, go back to the pile. They are double-sided with this symbol, so these do have one kind of weird ability. You can flip over your government tile anytime during your turn.
As a free action.
And you can basically get rid of any card that's out, put it at the bottom of the deck, and draw a new card.
Yeah.
But you can only do that one time per government. If I got a new government, I could do it again. Okay?
And it's always the same ability. That's it. Just take one card, put it at the bottom of the deck. Since we've gone through all the actions, we basically know all the setup and everything, we'll go through an empire scoring. So that basically happens whenever it is revealed. So you finish your turn, and then you do the empire scoring, and Nick's going to go through that.
Empire scoring card looks like this. There's one in all 4 of the decks. You only need 3 of them to end the game. Second way to end the game is 2 of the groups of the tiles between the wonders, civilization achievements, and the golden age. If 2 of those sets are all gone, it'll also end the game.
Yep. So potentially only doing 2 empire scorings.
Yeah. So doing an empire scoring or mid-round scoring, you'll resolve each section, each region
on the board,
and you'll score it up. So part of the retail version doesn't have a scoreboard or a tracker, so you'll have to write down your score for the empire scoring. Okay, and so you'll break them up into regions, how many points you each get per region, and you'll add them up, and that's your total for the empire region scoring. So I set up over here in the purple to give a definite an example of how this would be scored. So you're looking for influence. Wonders, we're going to say that Chrissy, purple, has this wonder. She has the tile on her side. So wonders are worth 2 influence. Cities are worth 2 influence. Towns are worth 1 influence. And soldiers or cavalry or any military unit is worth 1 influence. So we'll add it up. So there's a wonder that's 2, a city that's 4, a town that's 5, another town that's 6, and a military unit that's 7. So Chrissy has 7 influence in this region. My influence, or Green's influence, there's a city for 2, there's a town for 3, there's a cavalry unit and 2 soldiers for another 3, so that puts us at 6.
Wow. Thank you.
So there is 7 influence to 6 influence. So Chrissy has control of this region, so she wins that region. So the winner gets 3 points, plus 1 point for every wonder and city in the region, doesn't matter who owns it.
Yep.
Okay, so she would get 3 points, 4 points for the wonder, 5 points for her city, 6 points for my city. So she would get 6 points for this.
Yep.
Second place gets 2 points. That's it.
That's pretty much, that's one region. And then you would do the exact same thing for every other region. Yep.
And so you'd keep doing that, add up the total points for the round, and then you would just keep going like nothing happened.
Yeah, you'd finish your round, or you would go to the next person.
Yep.
Exactly, until the next one comes out, and then you do another empire scoring, or until 2 out of the 3 decks, or 3
tiles,
groups are gone. And then if either of those 2 things happened, then you do the final scoring.
Yep.
Which is different.
Yeah. So final scoring, if you did a empire scoring, the third empire scoring would come out. The third one is the final empire scoring you would do. You would then score up all your technology cards, your project cards, your civilization achievement tiles, your golden age tiles, all that gets added up. And then you add that with your previous empire scoring rounds, and that's your total score.
Yeah, whoever has the most wins.
So that's if 3 empire cards have come out.
Yep.
So if you finish the game by removing the tiles and no empire card came up, as soon as all the tiles are gone, you perform an empire scoring round, then you carry on like the end game scoring like you would.
Yep.
So also, after the last empire scoring or whatnot, everyone gets 1 more turn for the round. So you'll finish that round, then everyone else get 1 more turn. And that's scoring.
Yeah, and both of our scores were over 200 points.
Yeah, it's a high scoring game, especially for 2 players.
It is, yes, exactly. So does are all the tiles the exact same amount? Doesn't matter how many players? Yeah, okay. So it's definitely a high scoring.
The only thing that changes in the player count is the number of population cards, the number of tax and tariff cards,
and where
the empire cards end up in the technology deck.
Okay, yeah. So I can see why it's a high scoring game for a 2-player then.
Yeah. So that's the game in a nutshell.
Yeah, pretty much. You went way less into detail than I normally do. I would have done an example. All the cards. But I'm sure that everybody understands.
Well, they want an example. They can watch our playthrough.
Oh, there you go. We'll have a playthrough too, because as soon as we're done wrapping up this review,
we're gonna play
it and do it or playthrough video. So stick around for a couple of days and you'll watch it and be able to understand a little bit more. But yeah,
and I believe it's on Kickstarter right now.
Yeah, right?
So.
Yeah, exactly. Or you can win this copy.
Which is thanks to our sponsors or our channel members.
Yeah, exactly. Learning the game. I feel like was a little bit more difficult for me to learn the game. We ended up doing a members live learning this game, and I was way more focused talking in the chat than actually learning the game. But once Nick went through everything with me again, all of the actions, then it stuck a little bit more in my head, and it wasn't too bad. How was the rule book? Reading through the rule book?
The rule book was good. Yeah. Like, the actions are really simple. Like, they are pretty simple. Like, maybe it comes off as a little bit confusing. It kind of did when you were reading the book.
Well, it looks overwhelming.
But
when you first look at it.
It is
There's
not.
A lot.
It's not. Setup is way harder than playing this game.
Yes. I would agree with that now after a couple of games.
Yeah. And they, so there's that.
Yeah. But yeah, like, after you explained the actions to me, then I was like, oh yeah, okay. It's not too bad.
And the retail version does come with 1 reference card.
Does it come with 1? I thought it came with 2.
No,
that's must be thinking of a different game.
The Kickstarter.
Oh, is it?
Comes with 2.
Okay, well.
So this is the retail version. So there is differences, and I can explain the difference to you at the end.
Yeah, but yeah, it does come with.
But
a
it does
card.
come with a
and
reference
it goes through
card,
all of the tiles
which does
too.
The civilization achievements, the golden age, the wonders, the governments,
Yep.
the leaders, how to do empire scoring, how to do
the end game scoring.
So it's pretty informative.
Yep.
And it has your actions at the front. So.
Not bad.
No.
So yeah, I guess that leads into playing the game. Learning the game wasn't terrible.
No, it wasn't bad.
Playing the game, I feel like it took me a little bit more to wrap my head around it. Trying to come up with...
Trying to figure out what's going on, the strategy of it.
The strategy, exactly. Like, you know the end...
What? For why?
You know the end game is to get as many points as you possibly can, but to get to the points and why you're doing something and how it gets you points.
But until you kind of see that empire scoring...
Exactly.
You
then
don't
it
really
clicks.
understand. You need to do 1 scoring round to get to it.
Yeah.
And and then you'll kind of be like,
Yeah.
that's why I should have been paying attention to what you were doing in that region.
Exactly, which wasn't too bad actually, because our first game we actually both scored higher than our second game.
Yeah, but that's because we went through all the 3 empire scoring
That's
rounds.
true.
Whereas
That's true.
the
Our second
game,
time, yeah,
we didn't.
we were just doing way better, and we collected all of the tiles here.
And I feel that was the way most 2-player games will go.
Yeah.
Is by ending
Yeah.
on the tiles.
Exactly. Yeah, but playing the game, you just kind of got to get into it, figure out the first scoring, and then things will click.
But it's quick, right? I want a production turn. I'll get stone. I want 10 stone.
Exactly.
Next, okay.
Pay 5 ideas, get a technology card.
Okay, now it's my turn again. Oh, I'm going to place a town. Next, your turn, right?
Yeah.
So the turns are pretty snappy,
Mhm.
especially if you kind of are looking at what you want to do.
Yeah.
I think that also leads into, if you're playing with more players,
Mhm.
that you don't have a lot of downtime if you're sitting at a table with 4 people.
Yeah.
Because the turns are so snappy. So by the time it gets back to you, you should kind of have an idea of what you need to do next. Yeah, the technology card may be gone, or the build card may be gone by the time it gets back to you. But you'll still have time to be like,
Well, with way more players, there's going to be way more cards coming out, and guarantee something's going to pop out that you can use. For sure. Or, you know what, just pivot, which really isn't that difficult. I do have a hard time with that, and I'm like, oh, great, you took my card, now what am I going to do? Well, there was none of that, really. There's always something to do. Always.
But the rounds are quick.
The rounds are quick. So learning, not that bad. Playing the game, you'll pick up on it, and it'll get better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the theme. This is a map, and I'm getting cards.
Yeah, I don't...
And icons.
You're putting out cities and towns. There's really no rhyme or reason where the trade goods are placed. It's all random.
Yes.
You know, each person plays as a different civilization, but yet your starting city can go anywhere. It doesn't go in that specific region, right? So the theme-wise, you're collecting cards and putting tiles out
On a map.
to have majority influence, right? So it's a slight area control with a set collection.
Yep. Exactly. It looks good though.
I do like the look of it.
I like the artwork, the style of it. I like all of the like darker colors, less rich colors. I don't know what but yeah, I think it looks good. I like the artwork on it, all the cards and everything, the tiles.
Yep.
It's busy, but not overly busy. I don't think. I think it's like a
nice. It's big, but everything's on the board that tells you what each action is. I think it's very...
Even the cost to everything.
Yeah,
you have to
everything's on the board. So, you know, there's no player aids for individual.
Yeah.
But everything's written on the board.
Yep.
And each actions are pretty simple.
Exactly. Components for retail, because since that's what we're reviewing, but I suppose we can compare. This would be a good time to compare.
It too. But for the components for retail...
Because how much was this game?
I think we paid $70 Canadian, $80 Canadian for this.
Okay, well, it's a big game. You do get a lot.
Oh yeah, no, the box is heavy.
Yeah.
It is full. Like, there is a lot of cardboard tokens in this game.
Yes. Yes, there are.
But the quality of the tiles...
Yeah, they're
those
nice
are good.
and they're a heavy...
The quality of the cards, they're okay.
I like them.
They're linen finished.
Yes.
They're not bad. I've definitely played with worse cards.
Yeah.
These tokens, punch board, that's pretty good, thick enough.
It's a pain in the butt setting it up, but...
You know, the uniqueness of each tile, you can see what it is, and it's...
Yeah. I think for the cost, though, for retail version, like, the components are fine.
Right, and then you got your resources.
Yes.
Right, so you got your 5s and your 1s, and your book is one scroll. So five scrolls equals 1 book, if you need to know.
I feel like this is the first game that we had where they made the 5s and the 1s different.
Yeah.
Other than money,
5 wheat is equal to 1 fish.
Yes.
Keep that in mind. If you're ever hungry for fish, get some 5 wheat.
Yeah. So I'd say that was a little weird for me, but yeah. I think for the price, though, like, the components are fine.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of cardboard and cards.
It's a for the price, you get what you pay for. I think. I don't think there's anything negative, except there is.
That was they missed something. They're like, that slipped through the cracks. Like,
there is one thing missing in the retail version, which is just kind of
weird, because now you need a pen and a paper.
It's kind of a shame.
Because it's such a big thing in this game. You're doing it potentially 4 times.
Well, it's a shame because in the Kickstarter version, it's there.
They even have a board.
Yeah, so
I would be
there
okay
is
without a board.
no mention of how to score this game in the rulebook. It's kind of weird. Like, it tells you to do the scoring, but it doesn't tell you how to do the scoring, where to do the scoring, a layout to do the scoring.
We had to Google it, and it's a thing.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, it's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But so there's no score pad, and there's no score track.
I'm okay with the score track not being in the retail. But a pad is, like that should have been included.
In the Kickstarter versions, there is both a pad and a score track.
Yes. Like I said, it slips through the cracks.
It's an oversight that I think is kind of shameful for the price of the game.
Even not even for the price of the game, like whatever. However,
this game's almost $100.
I know.
Retail.
You're scoring this game potentially 4 times, and it's a big score.
Yeah, you resolve each region.
It's not like you're just doing it once at the end of the game. You're like, okay, just get a piece of paper or whatever. Yeah. It's a huge scoring for this game.
One, you need to calculate the influence, and then you got to calculate, okay, how many points.
Literally all of your icons, and if you have any of the cards that score up victory points for it, and how many tiles you have. No, that it should have been included in it. You can find a copy of it on BGG.
But it is an oversight that's kind of shameful. Like, I get it. Some other games don't have score things. You just gotta get a pad.
Fine, because you score it once at the end, counting tiles or whatever.
It's in the Kickstarter version. It should have been in this version. And
just pad.
To be clear, we did back the Kickstarter. We are getting the full Colossus version of this. It's on its way. We just got the shipping notice today.
Yeah, and that includes.
Which I'll bring that up in the review. But so we did back the bigger one, right? So we are getting it, but for the retail version, which is kind of a different look at, most people have kind of talked about the big Colossus one. It's a weird thing to miss.
It is.
Okay, so, and then that's components. Yes. Everything else is pretty good. We can talk about the differences in the Kickstarter now with the components, because that's
the only thing that I want is the score pad and the dual layer player boards. Yeah. That's really what all I want.
So the Kickstarter has dual layer player boards, a scoreboard, and depending on the edition of Kickstarter, it will have like 3D tiles for your cities, your farm towns, your population, whatnot. But even there is not the mini version, which is the little slightly lower version. I think they call it the Sphinx version or whatever. It will have wooden tokens for these.
Stressing me out holding that one and having all 3 hang over.
Right. So all versions will come with the wooden tokens for resources. They'll come with the dual layer player boards. It'll come with the score pad, the score track. Also, another weird difference, not that it makes a big difference, is the cardboard token size is actually a little thinner in the retail version, so everything would fit in the box.
In the retail or the...
In the retail version.
So this one is skinnier.
This is skinnier than
the deluxe
Kickstarter versions. Do I think this is thin? No. There's nothing wrong with this. But that is the difference.
A weird difference, but okay.
There's also more player aids.
Yeah.
I think there's 2 instead of 1. That's in the retail version.
Which, I mean, whatever.
There is also a solo mode in the Kickstarter version that's not included with the retail version. Oh. Which also is kind of weird.
Does it add extra things like other cards and stuff?
I don't know.
It must, right? For the price then?
But again.
Can you buy the solo?
No.
Ah, okay.
No.
That's a missed opportunity too, because then you could add it on, kind of like what was that one that we bought? The big huge box.
Yeah. So you can get that version of the Kickstarter, or you can get everything with that plus the ones with the minis, which will count for like miniature units for the soldiers and miniatures for the towns and cities. Miniatures for the populations.
Yeah.
Isn't that big? No. We did go all the way and get the Colossus version for us. It would be nice just to have the Sphinx version, but I think for the cost versus shipping and the actual cost of everything, the retail version, there's nothing wrong with it.
No, I don't think so.
Right? It suffers from similar thing as Terraforming Mars did without the dual layer board, with your cubes kind of sliding around. You can knock it around, forget where it's at.
Pay attention.
It's kind of a pain that way, but Other than that, like, there's nothing wrong with this retail version,
No.
and I would recommend it.
Yeah. So your final thought?
My final thought, I like the retail version.
Recommend it? Not even just retail version. Overall for the whole game. Like, the Kickstarter version isn't going to sway our thoughts on it.
No, it actually might be more of a pain to set up because right now we have it set up with all our cities just in a stack.
Yeah, it's going to be
all these cities are actually miniatures.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit more of
Right.
a table hog, especially with that extra board too.
The Kickstarter also another thing, comes with inserts. Right, for game trays. I don't know if they're actually made by Game Trays, but there's trays that are designed to come out.
I like that.
That can just go on the table.
That's all right then.
Right, and each player has their own little box with their colors in it. You just set it up on the table.
Okay, so less table hog?
I don't know if it's less table hog, but it's definitely, there's organization where right now everything is crammed in the box.
In bags.
And bags.
Because there's
and it just fits.
Yeah, well, they made these thinner.
Well, if they would have put a player scoring thing in there, it would never fit.
Yeah, well, one or the other.
Yeah.
But anyways, overall thoughts. After my first game, after the first scoring, I started to like this game a little bit more. I would definitely play the game again. I don't know. It's a lot. It's a big table hog, I would say. But playing was fun. I've never won the game, but it's been so close that I really don't mind it. It's not like Nick took off with it.
Yeah, no, the scores are always really close.
Always really close, yeah.
And I really enjoy this game. If you like Terraforming Mars, you'll probably like this with the area control and the set collection card placement. Because it's very similar. Very similar. One's on Mars. This is ancient Earth.
Yeah.
Civilizations.
A theme doesn't play anything for me, I guess. I don't know.
This has mid-round scoring. Terraforming Mars doesn't.
Yeah. Whatever. There's always something to do in this too, and I always feel like I'm doing something. Like I can collect.
Terraforming Mars, you're always scoring constantly.
Yeah. I can always collect some of these tiles like nothing.
Yep.
So I feel like I'm doing stuff in the game, which is nice.
I do like these tiles because it kind of gives you things to work towards.
Yes,
Kind of gives you a direction.
Exactly.
So.
And they're always different because there's a couple different ones.
Civilization achievements are always different.
Yes.
Can be different. But the golden ages are the same. And the golden ages are basically having 6 of
whatever icon.
Civilization.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I like the game. I recommend the game. If you can find the game at retail, I think it's a good get. If you don't mind paying a little extra for the Kickstarter version, I believe they have the Kickstarter versions that you can back and get shipped right away from the pledge manager.
Wow.
Because they already have it. So because there's an expansion out for this game on Kickstarter right now. Yeah. So you can do that. I guess we can talk about the one sore thing about this whole thing is
nitpick. We're going into the nitpicks.
We're going into the nitpick.
You're not saving it for the playthrough.
Well, I'm in here for the review, so you guys are lucky.
Wow. You'll get it again in the playthrough.
We've had this game, this retail version now.
Okay. I know what he's doing.
For 4 weeks now?
Let me just put the rule book down, and yes, for a good month.
We've had the retail.
Because we bought it.
We bought it from a board game store.
Yeah.
In Canada. About 4 weeks ago, maybe 5 weeks ago. Now, I still do not have.
We just got our shipping notification for the Kickstarter edition.
Yeah.
Which is a sore point for Nick.
The Kickstarter version coming up.
Again, this doesn't play anything into the game. We both.
No, the game's good.
It's
just upset
annoying.
that.
This isn't the first game that this has happened to us.
And it showed up more than a month in stores in Canada.
Yeah.
Yet the Kickstarter version is not even here yet.
Yeah.
And I've still got another week to go.
Yeah, before we get
it. At best.
Yeah.
And I understand, shipping delays and everything.
Yeah, well, you know what? We do it on Kickstarter. I expect us to get it first. Because that should be one of the perks.
Okay, fine. But then on top of that, everyone's waiting for their Kickstarter versions. And now there is an expansion Kickstarter.
They're not even finished.
That people haven't even had a chance to play the game that they backed.
Yep.
Because it's still shipping.
Yep.
I don't know. It seems a little weird. I feel like we should have at least had the game. We backed it. We supported it. Everyone that backed it supported the game. And now they're running another one, and so you are either choosing to pledge for $1 or to
Yeah,
pledge for
wait to see if you
bank
like it.
that you like it because you don't want to miss out on it, something that you already spent a lot of money on to get. So you feel like you probably need to get the rest of it, but you don't know because you don't actually have it yet. So
Are we backing the expansion?
we are, but I had already played the retail version.
Yes, you're right.
And I
you're
like
right.
it.
Yep.
Right? So I'm just saying I feel like they could have did a better job.
At least just wait.
Yeah, because
until
I
everybody got
believe
it.
this retail version showed up in like London Drugs or
Oh yeah,
like,
you're right. Yeah, here in
like-
town, right?
Like it was crazy
London
where
Drugs.
it was everywhere else,
Mm-hmm.
but Kickstarter backers,
Hadn't gotten theirs yet.
Hadn't gotten
still,
theirs yet.
still haven't gotten theirs yet.
right? So
Mhm. This is just a Nick rant. I'm gonna have to cut it 10 minutes. You guys don't know this, but he rants about a lot of things when he does these videos with
Yeah.
me, and I gotta cut back 10 minutes.
But I highly recommend the retail version as long as you're okay with not having a dual layer player board.
Yeah.
I'd say that's the only.
And a score.
Just to score whatever, you can print your own.
Yeah.
But the dual layer player board is a bonus, a benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else, it's perfectly fine. I would say unless you are a hardcore fan and you need to have everything deluxeified,
And then, yeah.
the retail version is fine.
Yeah.
If you're one that needed the 3D tiles for Terraforming Mars, then you probably want the Colossus version for Mosaic. If you like your tiles on Terraforming Mars and you could care less about that, then I'd say retail version. You'll
Awesome.
probably get an overlay somewheres for this
Oh
board,
yeah, definitely.
and you'll be fine.
Just on Etsy, search it.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be something there.
Yeah, so that's my opinion on it. Get the retail. You can get it now.
I had fun playing it, and I haven't even won a game. That's my thing.
Yeah.
It's still a fun game. Are you done now?
I'm done.
Okay, perfect. Don't forget to enter for the giveaway. Again, this is for US and Canadians only because of shipping. Let us know down in the comments below what your favorite player color is. And again, like this video and subscribe to the channel and tell all your friends.
Yep.
And again, it goes for 1 week, so the 27th until November 3rd.
And another big thank you to the members for making the giveaway possible.
Yes, absolutely.
If you are interested in watching us learn board games, learn Kickstarters that are
Hanging
coming
out
up,
with us.
hanging out with us, check out the members for as low as $1.
As low as $1.
As low as $1 and come and have some fun.
Because anything helps.
Yep. Well, it helps sponsor the channel by getting these giveaways out, right?
Yep, exactly.
So.
Exactly. So anyways, I hope that you enjoyed the video, and we will catch you next time.
Bye.